And welcome back, intrepid travellers, to 80 days. Yes, we did fail last time. We went over the 80 days moniker, but I thought that we might just try and get back to London this episode and see how we go. So let's get going. We got to explore first because we need some options to get to England. I struck up a few conversations here and there, hunting for options for how we might proceed. Yep. So there's getting to Miami or Prince Airport. Or New York. I think I like the New York option. And that's 140 to Port-au-Prince. Port-au-Prince, Prince-au-Port. Although the Port-au-Prince will probably take us to Central America rather than United. So we'll go to New York. Departs in 2 days. Do we have anything to sell? Nope, doesn't look like it. Well, that sells well in New York. So we'll grab that. And we may as well sell all these timetables now because we really don't need them. And that means we only have 2 bags. Sweet. Alright, let's hotel down. New Orleans. I met death in a smoke-wreathed, red-lit bar in New Orleans as the jazz band struck up another tune. He offered to buy me a bourbon. Holy Mother of Heaven, perhaps in 20 or 30 years, I threw my drink in his face. Holy Mother of Heaven, I blasphemed succinctly as some of the other patrons snickered. Death pulled off his mask to reveal handsome cafe au lait features and dark green eyes, and then extended a skeletal hand to me. A fine costume, I remarked. Merci, mon cher. I am Death at our neighborhood Mardi Gras, and I am practicing my role. He took my proffered hand and brought the back of it to his lips for a gallant kiss. He flicked me a rather unmistakable look under his dark lashes. I returned his look. I pretended not to see, yeah. Or the sensuous tilt to his mouth, and he laughed. You must call me Octave, monsieur. I am Passepartout. I clipped my head slightly, an appellation as well as a burden. Then I will choose another for you, he decided with a slanted grin. A special name for you and me tonight, Laurent. For you look a bit like a Laurent. Was Laurent better than you? Laurent and Octave, I agreed with a slow smile. They sounded an intriguing pair. Bien sûr. Octave told me that he was a free person of colour now. I was aghast to realise he had been a slave before the Civil War, and indeed still worked as a servant for the very same family. How can you do it? Are you happy working for them? Such a story is too horrible to hear. Yeah. I cannot bear it, please. Then your life has been an easy one, eh? His eyes flashed with anger. I joined the 1st Louisiana Native Guards Regiment after New Orleans was captured by the Union. I still wake up some mornings not sure if I am alive or dead. I am sorry you are alive. The mood has grown. I'm sorry, I said softly, reaching out for his shoulder. Octave wiped the anger from his expression with the ease of a long practice, and smiled a slow, dazzling smile. You look sad, monsieur. What a fool I am to confess these things to you when I would much rather see you smile. I smiled at him to dispel the last of the heaviness in the air. A smile, he exclaimed, triumphant. It is a rapturous smile, full of secrets I wish to unravel. I shall tell you one. I would be honoured. A dream every night of Paris. I have been around the world. Let's see. I have been around the world. And then nodded as if tucking it away in his mind. I thank you for your truth. I will remember it. Death, it appeared, was a creature of both delicacy and tact. Alas, the hour had grown late, and we had to part. Octave walked me upriver to the border of the garden district, where Monsieur Fogg had taken lodgings. Amongst the American parvenus, the moon shone down on the Mississippi, and Octave leaned towards me, and we kissed. Ah, yeah, why not? Let's go for it. And we kissed. Why not? Yep, go for it. There in the river, he tasted of bourbon and dark nights, and I will say no more of it here. A man, even one such as I, must have his secrets. Octave will be one of them. I think of him often when I think of New Orleans. Oh. Alright, we got to go one more night. It was with a heavy heart that I watched the sun go down. 80 days had come and gone, and here we were, still marking time and not yet home. Before the night ended, we need more money. Spent a few hours polishing shoes in the lobby, earning £52. Alright, depart. New York. Go. The Piedmont airline from New Orleans was not, in fact, an airline at all, but according to its advertising, the fastest railway in America. What could be better for getting us to the edge of the Atlantic? We had failed our 80-day challenge, but it had turned into the feeling, I think, that we wanted to go home. Yes, let's. Famed maniac Phileas Fogg fumbles wager. Oh. We set ourselves in a carriage with one other occupant, an extremely large man who introduced himself as Charlie Sullivan, a lad from Birmingham who had grown into something the size of a warehouse, who was impressively sculpted, who spoke rather dimly. Who had grown into something the size of a warehouse building, with huge tracts of muscle, especially around the neck and upper arms. I asked him what had taken him to New Orleans. Why not? And he grunted, "Boxing! You fought in a competition?" "You fought in a competition?" I interpreted. "There was an exhibition," he said. "I won third round knockout." I gulped. However, Monsieur Fogg's interest had been increasingly sharply throughout the conversation. "You are trained?" he demanded keenly, "or self-taught?" "I've got a manager," Sullivan replied. "He tells me what to hit." Excellent, excellent, Monsieur Fogg enthused. "I want to hear all about it." I sat back and enjoyed the conversation. Yes. The details of boxing are more intricate than one might expect. And hearing the business of cut and thrust, delivered in Sullivan's so very English tones, was quite informative. Little did I know how the details I heard would come to be of use to me. Ooh. "Greetings, Monsieur Legal. Tickets, please." New York too. We want to get... None of those are helpful. Washington there, Atlanta's there. Tell me more about it. I've heard the fastest way to Miami from here is to go via Washington. But now listen, do you play football? No. You look a bit like a centre forward, I thought. Reached Houston. Alright. Havana, Houston. Oh, come on, guy. I want to get out of this conversation. Here's something buyers in Atlanta will pay extraordinary prices from accordions from Port Royal. Goodbye. It's not very helpful to us now, I don't think. That Mr. Sullivan will, I think, go very far indeed, Monsieur Fogg opined, as I brought him kippers from the dining car. Is that so? Yes, is that so? Oh yes, his description of the transfer of weight from foot to foot was very well understood indeed. So you are a boxer, Monsieur? I saw the shutters of his conversation beginning to come down. I went to school, yes. You mean you boxed as a child? He stiffened. The suggestion he had ever been a child was, I quickly saw, well beyond the pale. I should fight him, he said. I almost choked. He looked at me with surprise. Is something the matter? Forgive me, it sounded as though you said, I should fight Monsieur Sullivan. It seems you wish me dead, Monsieur. My master shook his head. The minutest fraction. Not at all. Merely exercised. He forked another forkful. You needn't be alarmed. I can teach you to box. I rolled back my sleeves. I am sure you can, Monsieur, I replied, and I am a quick learner. Or at least I thought somewhat confident in nature. Excellent! Monsieur Fogg put down his paper. I have arranged for a space in the guard's van. Come! When he had done this, I do not know. I merely followed, and there was Sullivan, stripped to the waist, doing his warm-up exercises. Piss poor too, he greeted me through a thick leather mouthguard. I all but burst into tears. Sullivan, I declared meekly as I removed my own shirt and tried to listen as my master provided some pointers. And then the fight began. Sullivan was a tough opponent, and he chose to swing hard. He would brain me unless I defended myself, but he would not be able to slug on every swing. I would have to pick my moment to attack. To begin with, Okay, this sounds like the kind of guy that's going to, try and hit me straight off the bat. So I keep my guard up. Matching Frog's demonstration from across the car. Just as Sullivan punched hard, the blow landed against my defense. I shook it off as best I could. A small crowd had gathered to watch the fight, and they murmured with excitement. Strength and stamina are different, Monsieur Fogg called to me from side to side. Your strength will come back if you swing lightly, but your stamina, once gone, will leave you out cold. Let's see. Jabbed. Jab, jab. A quick, decisive move while Sullivan made a quick jab. I overpowered him, landed a sting. We were both still lively, although he was faring a little better than me. Watch it, the next swing may be harder, my master called. Brought up my defences, once more protect my face. Sullivan lifted his defences. We circled each other nervously. Neither of us was badly worn, though he was looking better than me. He will have regained some muster from that block, my master shouted, so be warned. Sullivan's weight moved back. He's making the swing, my master shouted. Kept my guard up again, once more protect my face just as Sullivan punched hard. I caught the punch neatly. We were both still energetic, although he was faring a little better than me. I heard rather than saw the money changing hands. Spectators were betting on me. I saw Sullivan's shoulders move back. He's making to block. Jab, jab. I jabbed a quick, decisive move while Sullivan snapped his arm up to block. I knocked him back a little. We were both still energetic, though he was looking better than me. I saw him shift up to his tippy toes. I threw a heavy punch. All my weight behind it, Sullivan punched hard. I burst through his attack, knocking him back across the carriage. An excellent hit, Monsieur Fogg declared. A little blood leaked from his lip. I could hardly believe it. I was winning. Sullivan was almost ready to drop. He won't be able to swing like that again, my master shouted. I'm going to bring up my defences because he might be mad. Once more, protect my face just as Sullivan delivered a stinging punch. I deflected the impact breathlessly. Monsieur Fogg was clapping heartily from the side. If I could just land one more decent swing. Should I go for the big punch? Light. Then I threw a light, quick, decisive punch, but I had timed it poorly. Sullivan swung low. The blow slipped past my guard. We were both staggering and stumbling around the ring, but I had the upper hand by a hair's breadth. He's wearing himself out, my master cried. Now it was time to... Yeah, that's just all in. I threw a heavy punch, putting all my weight behind the blow. While Sullivan brought up his block, I pushed him a little. Sullivan span about and fell backwards onto the floor of the van, defeated. Generous hands scooped me into the air. Excellent show, Monsieur Fogg beamed, displaying a violent burst of character. Most impressive. Sullivan was rubbing the side of his head and cursing in a version of English I did not recognize. I shook his hand as he carried to the compartment to lie down. I believe this makes you lightweight champion of North America, Monsieur Fogg remarked to me. More to the point, we won a little from a wager or two. £2,000. Nice! Well, that should be enough money to get us home, which is good. I woke, still smarting from my boxing match with Sullivan, and my master most generously decided he would fetch breakfast. You are most kind, monsieur. Indeed, he replied, and we cannot have you dropping the tray. He returned with black coffee and well-buttered toast. A most considerate choice to bring to refreshment, or at least so I thought until he began to eat the toast himself and drank the coffee in a slurp. Aww, bastard. We arrived in New York later that day. I struggled to lift the cases with my tired arms, and we staggered off the train. Asshole. This trombone could earn us well here. Yes it could. There we go. We have $5,000. That is amazing. Go to explore, find some options. Yep, there is one that takes us straight back home. Nice. I was pickpocketed and I seized the thief's hand, still in the pocket. You tangled with the wrong Frenchman, I exclaimed in triumph. The little thief looked up at me with thick, lashed eyes. I realized belatedly that the thief was a young girl, barely 10. I tightened my grip firmly, and she took the opportunity to curse in a thick Irish accent and bite me. I held on despite the inconvenience, and finally she grinned at me, teeth stained dark red. Are you done, little vampire? For now, the girl muttered. What is it to you? I looked down at my bloody arm. Truly, it was a salutary lesson not to let my guard down in strange climes. Don't steal again, I commanded sternly. As she returned my possessions, she agreed she would not ever again cross her heart, though her expression was shifty. I relaxed my grip, and she slithered away and lost herself in the crowd. I made my way back to our hotel before anything more untoward could befall my person. So plan London. Oh, we're $200 short. That's ridiculous. Departs for London in 2 days. That is a lot of money. What was it, a boat? Airship. Alright. Which means we can sell everything not airship related. Oh, I'm still short. Right, that. And we're good. Oh no, we're still short. There we go. What? How are we still short? Oh, that's bull dusty. There we go. Huh? Our funds went backwards then. That's weird. I swear our funds went backwards then. Like we were so close to 5,300 and then it went backwards. That makes no sense. The game just cheated me. Alright, hotel. Another night passed, another mark on our calendar, another nail in the coffin of Monsieur Fogg's wager. We made ourselves comfortable for the night, and I spent a while talking to the hotelier to find out what I could learn about Chicago being reached from the end aboard the Western Atlantic Railway. I thanked him. How are we going to make up $100? I'm going to have to get money out from the bank. That kind of sucks, doesn't it? And we sold everything in our bag. We could go there for 300. But we're so close. I'm just going to wait and get some money out. With what remained of the day, I afforded polishing shoes. Yes. £62. There we go. Bank. As big as any London branch, they will no doubt serve us well. Let's see. We need another grand. Yeah, tomorrow. I would check with head office to make the transfer naturally, she declared. I expect an answer by tomorrow. There we go. Ah. All right. Let's hotel down another night. Costs us £90. More errands. Sweet. I didn't go up anything. We're getting ripped off here. Bank. There we go, £6,000. Oh, that was close. Departing in 53 minutes. We left New York aboard the Henrietta, an old Confederate airship converted to a transatlantic mail carrier. We would reach London in 3 days, barring any unexpected delay. We're actually pretty lucky we won that boxing match then, because we wouldn't have had enough money otherwise. We could have just waited longer, but still. Let's see, we're aboard the Henrietta. The ocean tore along beneath us. I enjoyed talking to no one. There was nothing I needed to know, no one to charm, flatter, or beguile into giving us aid. There was only the wind and the time, and we could control neither. Monsieur Fogg looked out the observation deck windows with perfect calm. Though the wager was lost, he was no doubt returned and had no doubt returned ruin. I did not quite know what to feel of myself. I spent the remaining time ironing, which is a great solace to an easy soul. Aww. We tethered at the airship dock in Hyde Park and felt for the first time in 94 days the feel of English soil under our shoes. At long last we had returned to London. 94 days. I hailed one of the steam carriages idling on the banks of the Serpentine at Hyde Park. To the Reform Club, I instructed. My master shook his head. To Savile Row, he corrected calmly, and turned his face to the window. I have most assuredly lost my wager. Soot and fog thickened the yellow light of the gas lamps as we drove through streets of London. I think I only truly grasped the truth of the matter then. Hearing the words of my master's uninflected tones, we had lost the wager by an irrefutable margin, yet I could not help thinking that we had so nearly succeeded. I resisted the urge to seize Monsieur Fogg's ledger to calculate a better route, to scrub out some of our mistakes and snatch back our victory one day at a time. My master entered his domicile with his habitual tranquillity, though he instructed me to leave the window shut up so that his neighbours would not mark his return. I prepared his supper, and he ate heartily, as if he were not utterly ruined. Passepartout, he began. Yes, Monsieur Fogg. In the silence that followed, I counted up the hair's breadth escapes, all the obstacles which we had overcome and those which we had delayed us. We have performed our duties with competence and skill. Oh, you have performed your duties with competence and skill, Passepartout, he said, as though remarking upon the weather. But, more importantly, you have circumnavigated the globe as my companion. Despite the unfortunate protraction of our journey, he added, it was no small feat. And what will you do now, monsieur? I asked, trying to emulate my master's coolness and aplomb. My course, Passepartout, Monsieur Fogg interjected smoothly, is fully decided upon. We must attempt the journey around the world once more. Once more? I cried. Indeed, Monsieur Fogg said implacably, an intent light glinting in his cold blue eyes. But this time, forewarned and better prepared, We will succeed. Yes, monsieur. I nodded smartly. Monsieur Fogg consulted his ledger and tapped his pen. Perhaps this time, he said thoughtfully, a more southerly route. Your journey around the world is complete. Nice. Fogg blames exploding Mississippi paddle steamer arrest in Vladivostok and American trade robbers for 94-day journey. What really screwed us up, I think, were two things. That airship that took us right back to Moscow, that really hurt us. And what was it? The steamboat that we were taking across the the Pacific, that wanted to go to a different island, and that we then captured. But that took a lot of time. Without those, I think we would have made those 80 days. Well, thanks everybody for playing, and I will see you next time. Adios.